This is Judge Joe Brown, and you're watching We All Be News TV, the
News-free Dixie.
News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Thank you everybody for staying. I want to give a shout out to my mom. She's a true miracle worker. Give another applause. And I want to say this, and I want to keep it brief. If we don't tell their stories, the ancestors get no glory. You repeat that with me 3 times. If we don't tell their stories, the ancestors get no glory. If we don't tell their stories, the ancestors get no glory. If we don't tell their stories, the ancestors get no glory. So I want to give y'all a round of applause for staying here, because it's so important. I want to give Minister Campbell for the patience of Job, or whatever faith of Job, I don't know, for letting us stay here overtime. But also I want to say this, because I think it's very important. As a side note, I really enjoyed Professor Bob Lovett's presentation. That's like, you don't get that every day. So I really, thank him for coming from Nashville to give us that gift. And I want to say this as a side note. Nathan Bedford Forrest, see, the universal God don't let you get away with anything. Nathan Bedford Forrest had a black woman who was a sex slave. Her name was Elnora. She ran away from Nathan Bedford Forrest when she was pregnant with his daughter. Elnora is the great-great-grandmother of Douglas Turner Ward. Douglas Turner Ward is the founder of the Negro Ensemble Company, which trained Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, Felicia Rashad, Angela Bassett. See how God works? You see how God works, okay? So that's his relative. He was born in Louisiana. She ran to Louisiana, had his ancestor, and he was born, I believe, May 5th, 1930 in Louisiana. So these are the things we got to know. And also, in this church, Dr. William Brewster was Elvis Presley's favorite minister. He used to come here on Sundays to participate in praise worship. Him and George Klein. Sam Phillips, the founder of Sun Records, he used to listen to Dr. Herbert Brewster on the radios on Sunday. You don't know where you at. This is not the birthplace. Like people, I'm tired of, when I hear people talking about Memphis. Memphis is a land of the dead. It's a land of walking zombies. And Memphis is the birthplace of the master teachers. Yeah. Master teachers come through Memphis, okay? Memphis is named after Memphis, Egypt, a place of education. Katy Perry, the most watched YouTube a couple years ago was a music song video done by Katy Perry. That's a pop white girl from California, okay? California, okay? She did a song called Dark Horse with Juicy J of 3 6 Mafia fame from Memphis. They won the Oscar, it's Hard Out Here for APIMP. That was set in Memphis, Egypt. She was paying homage to something that we don't know. Dr. King did not just come to Memphis for sanitation workers. Memphis had a big part in Dr. King's life. Dr. King's favorite singer was not Mahalia Jackson. That was one of his best close friends, but was a brother from Memphis named J. Robert Bradley, who was born here back in 1919. He was discovered by the one and only Lucille Campbell, the mother of gospel music, who taught for decades at Booker T. Washington High School, who was the music director of the National Baptist Convention from 1916 to 62, who introduced the world to Marian Anderson while accompanying her on piano, who also discovered J. Robert Bradley, Dr. King's favorite singer, who, in the words of Mahalia Jackson, said, once he seen Amazing Grace, nobody can do it better. That's Mahalia Jackson saying that. And he died May 3rd, 2007 in Nashville. So do you know who you really are? In this one neighborhood, the first Hollywood black movie ever produced by Hollywood was Hallelujah. It was done by Lamar Horn. Over there, Lamar Horn back in the 1920s introduced the world to Neely Mae McKinney, Hollywood's first black sex symbol. She was like 17 years old. But that was done over there in Lamar Horn. Okay, and the director of that movie, King Vidal from Galveston, Texas, he got nominated for an Oscar for Best Director back in 1929. So do you know where you stand at? Johnny Ace, this is before Chuck Berry, Johnny Ace of the Bill Streeters. His family home is still over there in Soulsville, right? Not that far away from here. If you wanted to get Johnny Ace back in the day, you had to get either B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, or Little Richard at his opening act. And he's not in any Hall of Fame. They just put Tupac in the Hall of Fame. I love Tupac, but Johnny Ain't died at 25 on Christmas Day down in Houston, Texas, playing Russian roulette. But what I'm telling you is, you got the birthplace of Aretha Franklin over there. She came to Memphis before Detroit. You go to Booker T. Washington once again, W.T. McDaniel, who was the band director at Booker T. Washington and Manassas at the same time back in the 40s, go to a football game. First half, he over there with the Booker Teasers. Second half, he over there with the Rhythm Bones. But he is the mentor to Maurice White, who played drums with him, founder and visionary of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Marion Barry, every time I go out to D.C. or Maryland, he loved Marion Barry. He out of here, South Memphis boy. Booker T. Washington, Lamar Owen. What I'm saying, everywhere I go, even when I go to Ferguson or East Baltimore talking to Freddie Gray friends, they talking about, what you know about Young Dolph? What you know about Yo Gotti? I said, who was Young Dolph? Okay, I know like I had to go to Ferguson and Baltimore. You got a brand that is phenomenal, but you don't know who you are. You forgot that you knew that you knew. And this is why we got to remember Fort Pillow. Because when we remember Fort Pillow, we remember the best of us. The real trinity is the black man, woman, and child. When you put us together, we can't be stopped. That's why they work so hard to divide and conquer us. Black man, woman, and child. The Montgomery bus boycott was about protecting black women from rape, from white police officers and white bus drivers, and black men standing up for their manhood and being willing to die and lay it down. So I'm telling you, for the 50th anniversary of Dr. King, let's have a people's tribunal, not sponsored by no institution, not sponsored by no guy with deep pockets, and let the truth be out about what happened to Dr. King April 4th, 1968. Because don't you know that the military was in here March 28th, that last March, they ended in a riot that was led by Dr. King. They got Larry Payne killed by the NPD at 16 years old. And they got out of here April 12th. What is April 12th in history? Don't you know this April is the white supremacy month? Did you know the Civil War was also started April 12th, 1861? Fort Pillow Massacre, April 12, 1864. Franklin Roosevelt died under mysterious circumstances down in Warm Springs, Georgia, April 12, 1945. They took out Dr. King, April 4, 1968. They took out Representative Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr., April 4, 1972. Get with the numbers game, people. They working on a clock and a calendar that a lot of us don't even understand. So what I'm saying to you, with all due respect, just show up for yourself. I'm not fighting for nobody else. I'm fighting for my own manhood. Because it's something about a black man. It's something about it bothers me. I'm going to say this. I'm going to shut up. And we got some cake if y'all want some. We try to, we'll make it work. Okay? I'll pay some rent on this. I'll pay for the like ass extra. But it bothers me when society, they appraise of James Baldwin, but they neglect of Malcolm X. James Baldwin was the so-called best friend of both Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., and Medgar Evers. All them three black men I named had families. They were not allowed to live to be 40. They did not make it to 40. Medgar got killed at 37 years old in front of his family. Malcolm got killed in front of his family at 39 years old. Martin got killed at 39 years old. They allowed James Baldwin to live almost 30 more years. James Baldwin, I like him, he's talented and all that, but he reminds me of Michael Evans from Good Times. Michael Evans said all the revolutionary stuff, but he's so cute and effeminate. But if Father James said that stuff, and they end up killing James anyway. Well, that stuff came out of James Evans. Now, what I'm saying, it's time for black men to start being men again. Being men, be willing to die for what you want. Be willing to die like them brothers Thomas Moss and Calvin McDowell and the other brother I can't think of right now. Be willing to stand up for your manhood. Stop living on your knees. We need more black men after their 30s. We need more black men in the community. We don't need more police. We need more black men being men, going back to the community. So the black have somebody to respect. Say a lot of brothers disappear after they turn 30 and they show up back when they're 50 years old. It's kind of weird. I know a lot of people go to jail and whatnot, but what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. Knowledge to self could get you places where other people's expectations can't even allow you to go. Or lack of expectations. Don't be a victim. We're not dying of natural causes when you live in a system that dehumanizes you, that demeans you. I just went to Dred Scott's resting place outside of Ferguson, Missouri. That's the same cemetery where William Sherman is buried at, okay? And Dred Scott was told by the U.S. Supreme Court back in the 1850s by Roger Taney that you nor your descendants have any rights that the white man is bound to respect. We're not American citizens. We are descendants of Dred Scott. You are an American, but you're not a citizen. If you was a citizen, you would be, God bless y'all. We got some cake. And come to the other events. Thank you. I appreciate it.